Hello and good afternoon, friends. Today I want to talk to you about how do you as a homeowner check to see if your distribution box is not draining evenly between both dry wells or drain fields. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so to start, we can see that we have our septic tank over there and we have our absorption system over here. So if you hear any landscapers in the distance, they're trimming a bunch of trees close by, but I figured this was a useful and interesting subject, so I wanted to show you. So how does this system work, right? We have our tank over there, and basically the goal of the tank is to when you flush water or anything down a toilet, sink, bathtub, you name it, all the solids get trapped over there, right? But now you got to deal with that water somehow. And so how do you do that is you have a dry well, just like this, right? This is the old school version of a drain field. Nowadays, most places in most counties will use drain fields just because they're a little bit cheaper and a little bit more maintenance free compared to one of these. What is a dry well, you might be asking? Well, this is just going to be a big pit in the ground with dry stack cinder block and stone on the exterior. This particular setup is going to have two of them. We got one right there and we got one right over there, right? So that means in the middle is going to be a thing called a distribution box. Now, these dry wells, these are designed to dissipate the water into the surrounding soil. So how they're built is they're going to be usually 8 feet diameter, and this particular one's 8 feet total depth. They're going to dry stack cinder block in a large cylinder all around this area, right? And then they're going to put stone on the exterior. So as you put 10 gallons of water into the septic, 10 gallons of water will overflow and into the dry well. From there, the water will escape into the surrounding soil and the nature will do its thing. Over the course of many years, the biomat, which is biologic material from the septic tank, will work its way into the pits and cause it to plug up, right? Now, this biomat's really, really sticky, and basically it makes it to where the water can no longer drain the way that it's supposed to drain. General shelf life for these systems is anywhere from 30 to 40 years. Sometimes you get a little bit more, sometimes you get a little bit less, just kind of depends on what's going on. In the middle, you're gonna have a thing somewhere beyond these bushes, in between that pit over here and this pit over here is going to be a thing called a distribution box, right? And so what the distribution box is, just a little concrete deal, and that's just going to allow the water to evenly disperse between the two pits. Now, measuring to see if a distribution box is even on a drain field is a lot harder for a homeowner, but as a homeowner, if you have dry wells or any kind of observation port just like this, it's a lot easier. So what do you do to figure out if your pit is accepting effluent evenly? What you do, you pop open this lid, take your flashlight, and just take a peek right on inside. All right, so let's go ahead, zoom in. So we can see the water level is pretty low in there. That's a good thing, right? That means that this pit is draining correctly and everything's going out the way that it's supposed to go out. Let's go look at the other one. All right, so now we're looking at the other pit, right? So this is gonna have the exact same setup as the one that we just looked at a second ago. But when we look inside, we're actually gonna see that the water level is significantly higher, all right? So what could that possibly mean? So what's going on over here is actually gonna be that the distribution box itself is no longer level, or the pipe is partially obstructed to where a majority of the wastewater is going into this one over here. Now, is that the end of the world? No, it just means that the pit over there is gonna fail first, and then when that one fails, the remainder of the liquid will go over to here, and then this will become your primary system. Now, sometimes what can happen is if you're, depending on the elevation of the property, water will always go wherever the path of least resistance is, right? So if it's easier for the water to just bubble up and work its way out into the surrounding soil, guess what? It's gonna do that. However, if it's easier for the water to basically spill over into the other pit, that's what it's gonna do instead. So our county usually wants level distribution boxes. Either you level it on the ground itself or you use these things called speed levelers to force the water into one pipe or the other. By having that, it makes it to where both systems will fail at the same time versus having that one fail up there and then this one pick up the slack, or risk having that one fail and surface sewage and this one not really do anything, right? So we're going to recommend that they re-level the box, but in this particular circumstance, everything is still working, and I figured it'd be good for you as a homeowner to go ahead and take a peek and see what your system's doing, right? I'm a big proponent of homeowners checking their own stuff and taking a look at their systems, right? Let me know below if you've ever had any pipes like this on your property, have you ever opened them and looked to see what's going on inside of your septic system? Let me know. I'm curious. I think it's very important that as a homeowner, you know where your stuff's at and what to look for, right? Everybody always talks about how this is such a trade secret. It's really not, right? It's simple enough to where any homeowner can pop open the lid and you as a homeowner can just look inside and say, that water level looks really, really high, or oh no, that water level looks pretty good. I hope this was helpful. If you enjoy content like this, I have videos posted every single day about the world of well and septic. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, no big deal. Maybe you'll learn something on the next one. Till next time, guys.